or maybe whenever you call to say Tata Sky, whenever you call to Tata Sky customer care, just a minute. So, so we have discussed about basics of MIS, Management Information System. We discussed about decision support system. In decision support system, we talked about programmable and non-programmable problems. Okay. So for both the things, decision support system will work. In programmable, non-programmable, what we mean by this, like, there are some decisions which are regular decisions. Regular decisions are frequently asked questions like FAQs. So that we have frequently asked questions. Similarly, there are problems which are regularly coming to your call center. Like suppose Tata Sky. Okay. So when you call to Tata Sky, normally what they do, the first level what they check is suppose they will show signal problem, okay, or clarity issue. So what they do, first they check your connection level, okay, the frequency level. Then there are certain decisions which fall one after another. If suppose this problem is okay, okay, or frequency level is okay, then they will look at connection level. The connection level is also okay. Then they will look for third channel. So there are certain steps. There are certain steps in a programmable problems or in a programmable issues which are solved one after another based on the data which you get from that source. So this is something where even a newcomer who may not be from say background of IT can also do this because there are certain things which fall one after another because they are programmable, they are regular problems which they receive regularly. So what they do, they have certain steps to follow. Once you follow those steps, maybe they will ask you to restart your system, reconnect your wires, or do some basic changes in setting part. So there are certain steps which you follow one after another. Most of the problems actually get solved then and there. If something remains and that requires human involvement, then only they enter into a manual process. Otherwise, everything is system generated. Okay, press one for this, press two for this, or something like that. That is operational. That is a regular programmable problem. But for non-program problem, maybe you require to enter manually. Okay. So what they do, maybe an engineer will call you directly and they will ask you what is there on screen, how is your connection issue, what are the different kind of signals you are getting, what message you are getting. So this is non-programmable problem, and to solve those problems, maybe you require a more of a data particular to that television connection. Okay, so this is programmable or non-programmable problem. Both problems can be solved by decision support system (DSS), which we discussed in last session. Okay, so we have discussed a difference between management information system (MIS) is into a larger context where information is not pertained to particular problem, but it is about overall issue. Okay, whereas decision support system helps you or present data in a such a way where mid-level manager can able to solve those problems. Okay, whereas DSS and other problems are at a transition level. So here you can see a hierarchy. In a pyramid, you can see a transaction processing system. So transaction process system are operational level decisions. Like last time, I guess we have discussed about utilization of this particular process in a hotel. Okay, in a hotel system. Okay, maybe you are giving order, maybe order is get directly passing to a kitchen, and the kitchen will prepare the article whatever you order you have. Then they will, after processing, they will state the status like okay, it is under process, when it is completed, garnishing, or maybe finally they will think your order is ready. Okay, then the person who is there for delivery, they will take this order and they will give that order to you. Or online problem, you have the order is placed, under process, then somebody is going to pick up it, and then like X person has picked up it and it is on the way. So this is operational issue. Okay, so this is solved at a transaction processing system. This is very regular transaction which everyone does. So maybe at this level or this level, a leading or a frontline manager will able to solve these problems, and they required this kind of automated system. See, this is automated system because there is no person is continuously involved who is calling to other person or who is taking the information about what is happening and they are updating. It's not that. It is something which is automated. So why? maybe need information system because to bring things on autopilot mode. So what we mean by autopilot mode, okay, just to understand the gravity or the gravity or the importance of autopilot mode, I would like to quote one example here. Okay, so there is always a confusion between what is different between business and trading. Okay, there is always difference between what is business and trading, and people normally consider that they both are same. They normally consider that they both are same, but there is difference between business and trading. So normally, what is trading? Trading is something you're taking from somewhere and selling to somewhere. So this is trading. But again, there is one more angle to look at trading. Here in a trading, you need continuous involvement. Okay. Suppose you're a shop owner and maybe you have some kind of branded franchise. Okay. Maybe Levi's franchise. So what you will do every day morning, you will go to your shop. You will start your business. You will give order whatever stock you will receive, and again you sell it to your final consumer. Okay. So this is about trading. Okay. But here, even in a trading, you can start your business. So what do you mean by business? Okay. This is what I read on many management guru has explained this. CK Prasad also talked about this. Okay. Business is something which you can ultimately transfer in autopilot mode. If every time you have comes into outlet, there are n number of people who are actually handling and they are given a standard SOP, standard operating procedure. They are given standard operating procedure, so they know how to welcome a customer. Okay, they are managing everything, or they are like customers themselves and going for a particular activity, and they are choosing product from that particular interior shop. Everything is on autopilot. Okay, this is what we call a business. Okay, suppose you're an employer. It's not always about entrepreneurship. It is also about employee. Suppose you're an employee and you want to bring whatever activity you are doing on autopilot or on a using information system. So what you can do? Suppose every day morning you are reaching your office. And suppose there is a team. So you are interacting with your team. You are convincing them what to do today, what is their target, or what they have to achieve today. Okay, and after that you are entering into market and you are doing market with all the guys. And again, if you are coming back to an office and again you are discussing with your guys what happened today, how somebody is achieved, why somebody is not achieved. So this is what we call a trading, or this is something where you need to be there. Your presence is mandatory to conduct this business. But how you can bring these things on autopilot? Okay, suppose every day morning your sales team is coming to office. And the moment they are coming to office, they are getting first statement or first message about the stock available in Goa. So, okay, just a hypothetical situation. As you are working in FMCG, consider you are working in FMCG, and I am telling you the job profile of sales officer or sales executive. Okay, so every day morning they are coming to office and they are getting a message that what is the stock there, and those stocks which are suppose available in higher quantity, that particular stock is coming in a say red line. Okay, there is a red line. Suppose some of the stocks which are at a shortage, they may be coming in a green line, or something which you need to promote today. Okay, suppose something which is target and you need to promote that may be coming in a green color. Okay, so there are different colors which are indicating different. So the moment they get all your team gets that message, they will be aware about the system. Second thing, maybe you have set their targets for a month, for an entire month, and you have divided day base, or you have equally divided it. Second message they are getting is how much they have achieved against a target and how much they are supposed to achieve today, and what is left after doing today's task, how much they have to achieve for the rest of the month. Again, they have clarity about today's task. They have clarity about what is a support system or how much stock they have. Maybe third message or third thing they will get is how many customers or who are the customers they need to focus. Again, something you have done in MIS about the Pareto. Okay, you have categorized outlet based on their purchasing capacity, maybe top to bottom. Okay, so maybe a top 20 customer who are in the top 20 customers or highest buying customers, maybe they will get a list of those customers. So somehow, without your presence, you have a set a system that without your intervention, every day they are getting their task which they have to support, which they're supposed to get. They are getting all the reports, what they're supposed to get. And sitting at your office, you are getting updates after every call. Maybe somebody is productive or how much order they have booked or whatever activity, like who is doing a better work in a day. So every minute you are getting information about all your employees. This is what we call automation. Okay, this is what we call automation, where human intervention does not require. Manually, you don't have to collect data. Data is coming to you automatically. Okay, that is what we call autopilot mode automation. Okay, here we require information system. So there are different levels. There are different layers where we want to go into automation. Okay, maybe at a processing level or in the initial transaction processing system, you require some kind of automation, but that is at the operational level, like receiving complaints or solving like regular problems. Okay, payment issues. Okay, how to do recharge. So these are the very basic problem, and every other customer will ask you this problems. Okay, so this is at operational level or it is at a transaction level. So these problems can be solved with the basic data, basic DSS. Okay, but suppose there is a mid-level manager where you have to take a tactical decision. Okay, problems are not regular problems. Problems are not regular problems, and there is a need for some kind of brainstorming or human involvement. Obviously, but decision will be taken by management, but decisions are decisions are supported by some kind of information. Particular decision, what we require, you require particular. This is what we call just 1 minute. Okay, so what we call is a mid-level management decision, tactical decisions, where you require human intervention as well as you require a data to reach to that level. Because these are the problems, which are the problems, they are contingency problems. Okay. So here, what we require, you require data to take action and to take a faster decision. You require the information, not data. You require information or processed information. So to take this decision. This is at a mid-level management where we use MIS, Management Information System. Third part is Executive Information. Third part is Executive Information System, which is our today's topic. Okay. So your top level management requires a completely different kind of information. Maybe they are not into operation, they are not into finance, they are not into accounts. Okay. So they require some specific kind of information to solve a particular problem or to take a decision. In fact, it is not about a problem, it is about taking some kind of decision. So what they require some specific information, okay, which is processed by a different departments, and ultimately that is reaching to execution, okay, or to make a highest form of decision. Okay, so what kind of difference? Let's take an example. Okay, let's take an example to understand how these two things are different. Suppose every day you are getting say 30 complaints. Okay, so at the operation level, what you do? You will solve those problems. Okay, and whatever level is at the management level, what do you think? Maybe you will try to bifurcate. Maybe you will try to bifurcate those problems into different categories. Like how many problems are there for a recharge? How many problems are there for signal? How many problems are there for new connection? So maybe there are different segments you will divide, and you will try to understand why people are coming, for a particular problem. Can we solve that problem permanently? Okay, can we solve the problem permanently? Okay, maybe you're looking at there are continuous problem about signal. So looking at there are continuous problem about signal. So maybe as a mid manager level or tactical decision level, what you do, you will get MIS or information about how many towers you have, how many towers, like capacity of each tower, how many connections you have in each area. So how many people are getting a proper connection. Okay. So something like that. And based on that data, you will try to expand your business or expand the business. Maybe you will have a more towers, okay, or maybe you look for some new technology to solve some regular problems. So you are actually you are easing you are ensuring that the job of operation level will be more easy. So that you will reduce a number of complaints which are coming as of executive information system. It is on the market. So what is executive information system? Here you make a decision about whether to expand into new area or not. Okay, it is not about a regular problem, or it is not about a long term problem. It is about a capital decision. Okay, whether we want to enter into new category or not. This is direct to home service, okay, DTH. So whether to enter into DTH segment or not. So that is a level of decision what executive information system requires. So they require a huge data, but that is converted into knowledge. Okay, because they cannot process such a large files. Okay, so information gets or data gets filtered at every stage. So management information system MIS will have a executive system or they will process data in such a way where they will get a lot of information, but into a proper format. Maybe about a competitor, they will have a single page about all the competitors who are there into DTH. Okay, what is their market share, how much revenue they are getting, how much investment they have done, which are the areas they are servicing. Maybe on other way, what is a customer expectation, what was customer expectation is saying, whether they are happy with the existing services or not, why they want to switch, how many customers are there who want to switch. So there is information in a different format than what we had for MIS or for a middle level man. So there is, like, I hope you're understanding, there is a different in information, there is a different in regular problems which you have. Based on what kind of problems you face, you have information. So that problems and that requirement of information bifurcates things into multiple levels. Okay, transaction processing level, management information system level, DSS level, executive level, expert level. Okay, so based on the kind of problems you face and the kind of information you require, that defines your MIS system, or that defines, or that is level of requirement you require. Okay, now SAP, there are many softwares are available in the market which are customized software according to your need. So these are the things which you need to consider before implementing MIS system in your organization. Okay, so today's topic for us is to understand what is executive information system. We have discussed regular problems, we have discussed MIS, we have discussed DSS, decision support system, and now we are going to discuss executive information system. Tomorrow we will discuss DBMS, database management system. Okay, so tier of information system we have discussed. At a transaction or processing system, there are like operational level problem. So workers or frontline managers will able to manage those problems, and whatever data they require, that is at the initial level. Okay, manager, middle managers requires a management information system. Decision support system again at a senior managers. Okay, senior managers, maybe head of sales, maybe head of finance department, head of logistics department. They require decision support system. There are two kind of decision support system problems which we have discussed: programmable and non-programmable. Okay, so each manager, each level, they are trying to make it for the next level. So mid-level manager will MIS will be used to solve the problems of operational level. Decision support system as a platform to ensure ease of doing a daily transition for mid-level managers. Finally, we have executives. Executives are maybe board of director, okay, that kind of managers. They are actually taking a decision about entire organization. Okay, so decision making is obviously a very long term process, maybe for 2 year, 5 year, 10 years. Obviously, so that there is a need for accuracy at that data. Okay, like we have discussed initially, we have a journal, then it goes to ledger, then trial balance to ultimate balance sheet. Okay, so this is similarly information is also getting filtered at each level, and that is going to next level because they are not interested in a complete information. Why owner or the executive level is interested in the journals, okay, which has a complete explanation. Maybe that is good for a frontline manager or for a second line manager, but for ultimate executives, maybe that is not. Is a different kind of information. Their requirement is completely different because their problems are different. So based on your problems, based on your level, you implement different strategy, or you need a different kind of systems. Okay. So this is a tier of information. You have the kind of person who are using those levels. So now comes the question: what is executive information system? Executive information system. Again, remember, when we are discussing this particular topic, always consider yourself as sitting on a top level, or you are sitting in a board management, okay, or on a management team. So once you understand, or once you sit on that level, or start imagining, or start understanding things in that particular way, it will be very easy system is not very difficult. What is difficult is to bifurcate a different department system, or kind of information each department required, a kind of problem each department has, so that you can go for what kind of softwares you require, what kind of hardwares you require, whatever component you require, you can implement those components into your department. Okay. Suppose you are into MIS team. Okay. So MIS team in the sense information IT team. You are into IT team. So when you are in IT team, you have to decide what level of software you require. Okay. How can you make those decisions based on understanding what kind of decision your organization is going to take, or what kind of levels you have. If it is well grown level and it is something very high, obviously maybe you have to go with the best of the best software. But suppose it's a startup software or it's a startup company, maybe your component requirement will not be equal to what other company requires. What kind of software support you require, what kind of automation you require, you need to go through this syllabus or this kind of chapters. When we require DSS, when we require MIS, whether we really require MIS or not. Suppose it's just a small company, startup company that may not have any kind of interest in terms of customer service or time availability, or service questions. So maybe they doesn't recognize, and as you grow in terms of your turnover, in terms of your customer base, market share, you require different kind of systems to be placed in your organization. So to understand when you require what kind of system, you require to understand what is information system or executive information system. So executive information system definition. An executive information system is a type of management support system that facilitates and supports senior executive information decision making. As we have discussed, information doesn't come with a flag on it. Okay, so that is just a tool to make a decision. Ultimately, decision is taken by human being. Ultimately, decision is taken by human being. But again, that human being is supposed to be supported by some kind of information, so that person will analyze that information, convert that information into knowledge, and then takes action. So whenever we talks about AI, artificial intelligence, it is always talked that artificial intelligence is it's not like whatever inventions we had in the past. Okay, it is a disruptive service, or it is disruptive technology. Why AI is called disruptive technology? Okay, maybe those who are from IT background, they will be aware about why artificial intelligence is called as a disruptive technology, because executive DSS, okay, EIS, DSS, MIS, these are some of the things which we are studying from traditionally. Okay, we are studying this thing from long time, but ultimately now AI may change your entire system. That is what it is called disruptive technology. Why AI is called disruptive technology? How it is going to change your entire system? See, here you are supporting human beings by providing some information. But what will happen tomorrow? Maybe you don't require to provide information to human being. That machine it itself will use the data and will come with a decision. Like I just said, information doesn't come with flag on it saying I'm the right choice. Okay, or system doesn't give you decision. System will provide you information, and based on that information you take a decision. Based on that information you take decision. Okay, but when we talked about AI is something which is actually matching with the human talent or human processing capacity. Okay, human being has a capacity to have a different quantitative, qualitative data, and based on that they can take a decision. But machine, at least till now, machine has only capacity to process quantitative data. Maybe they will not be about the qualitative data. Okay, so what we mean by quantitative and quantitative data? Let's take an example. Okay, a few days back, I had a call from one of my friends. We met for a team, and he was running. He is working with a very prestigious post, on a very prestigious post in an FMCG company. Okay, he is a regional sales manager. He is handling entire Maharashtra, MP, and some part of Kerala also. Okay, so he met with me and he said, "Hey, I want to quit my job, and like I have started some industry or it's a startup, and I want to focus on that particular industry." Okay, So I said okay, but after some days he again came, like after some months, he again came and he said, "Here, I'm not. I want to close this startup." Actually, when we discussed what are the problems he is having, maybe from my perspective, I said I don't think there is any. Okay, you cannot say that everything will be happy or everything will be according to your own convenience. There will be some hindrances, and you just have to surpass those hindrances. And this is what we call employer. And this is what makes a difference between employee and employer. Okay. But if you close your business, there will be two problems. One is qualitative problem and one is quantitative problem. So what are the quantitative problems? Maybe you have to sell at comparatively lower cost, or maybe you have to sell in a loss. Okay. So qualitative loss will be in a monetary terms. But what about the quantitative loss? Yes. So much after getting frustration from your regular job, you have thought of some other way to solve your problem. Or maybe this is not only about a business or money making machine, but it is about your aim. This is about, there is something called a stress. What is stress? Stress. Why people feel a lot of stress? Okay, especially in a corporate world. Why they feel stress? Because there is, or what is stress? Stress is gap between reality and expectation. I will repeat. Stress is gap between expectation and reality. Okay. Suppose your father is expecting that after MBA you will earn at least 10 lakh rupees a month, 5 lakh rupees a month. And suppose you got a placement of 2 lakh, 3 lakh rupees. So suppose your expectation is 5 lakh and what you are getting is 3 lakh rupees. That 2 lakh rupees become a stress. Okay. Society or father's expectation and reality, that gap becomes a stress. Okay. If you expect less and whatever you are getting, you are happy with that, there will be no stress. Whatever you have, if you have a more expectation and you have a comparatively less, reality is not compared with your expectation, that gap becomes a stress. Okay. So after having so much of stress, you decided to come out of it and wanted to start your own business. If you close this business, the biggest loss is not monetary. Biggest loss will be you will lose your confidence. Okay. Never in your life, you will ever try to start your business. Whenever something goes against you, or you feel like you will continue your job, okay, without looking, even if you have to compromise with your health, still you will look for your job, or you will give priority to your job. Why? Because you have experienced that that is something which will go to your long-term memory. That business is not for us. So even if you get best of the best idea tomorrow, you will not able to survive, or you will not start. Why? Because this is of qualitative loss. It is not quantitative loss. But system will not process this data. Okay, so if you calculate or if you give some data to your system that this is a calculation, this is my input, approximately revenue or profit I'm getting. So what do you recommend to me with this business? Obviously, system will tell you that this is a calculation and you are into minus. So obviously, if you are supposed to close your business, but that system will not give you a qualitative loss. Okay, that system will give you a figure in a minus, but there is something more to think. Maybe in the initial level, 1 year, 2 years, you may not achieve your break-even point, but after that you will achieve your break-even point. Like you take example of Flipkart, Snapdeal, Amazon, any company you discuss. Okay, they have not achieved their break-even point, but they are very very big companies. What they are doing, they are first establishing, or they are making people habitual about online shopping. Once they get habitual, people will go for Amazon and Flipkart only. They are the future. E-commerce is future of world. It's a source of reality. Tomorrow, like even today, okay, they have reached to B towns. Okay, B category towns. They are trying to reach to C category towns too. Okay, they are trying with a different models. E-commerce is again part of MIS only. Okay, it's completely MIS based business. Okay, maybe Flipkart or Amazon, they have started their business in one BHK. Okay, but now they have expanded to such a level. Even today, they don't have any inventory. They don't have any inventory. What they require a place just to manage their staff. And that staff is also it's not a huge staff. What they require, they are getting order from customer. What they are doing, they are processing, or they are giving order to their vendor. Their vendor is ultimately packing the goods. Once they pack the goods, the message is going to delivery team. Delivery team, that is also their channel partner. The delivery team will go to that ultimately they will deliver it to customer or consumer. Okay, so it is all about MIS. They don't have any reality. It is all about virtual reality. Okay, so So this is completely MIS based business. So these things will not calculate qualitative data, but when artificial intelligence will come into place. Okay, if artificial intelligence will start replacing human power. See, till now, whatever technology we had, they all used by human beings. Human being was necessary to use those technologies. But artificial intelligence is actually replacing human being itself, because artificial intelligence has a capacity to learn new things, develop their information based on their experiences. They learn from their experiences, which human beings also not for. Human beings also learn from their experiences. Similarly, artificial intelligence or machines, robots, they also have capability to learn from their experiences. They add to their knowledge based on the experiences. Okay, so that's why artificial intelligence is called as a disruptive technology, because they are actually replacing human being itself. Okay, I hope you have seen movie Robot. Okay, Chitti starts making themselves another chitties. Okay, or that robot replicates themselves. Okay, so there is a potential threat. That movie was not just a fiction movie. There is so much reality into it. It is well researched movie. After all, it is Rajinikanth's movie. Okay, so that's why artificial intelligence is called as a disruptive technology, because maybe tomorrow you don't require this traditional methods. Maybe you don't require DSS, you don't require AIS, or you don't require any entrepreneurship ERP. Okay, enterprise resource planning. You don't require any software, because artificial intelligence will take care of everything. They will process the data and ultimately they will give you decision too. But at least at this time of point of time, we are dependent on softwares and hardwares. There are different softwares which help you in enhancing your decision making capacity. So in the executive information system is one of them. I hope with this example, in this case study, you have understood what is a role of executive information system, why executives need a different softwares or different kind of system, or why there is a difference in system required at each level. Okay, because their decision making or their decision or their planning level or their decision level capacity is different. Role is different. Okay, so when we go to executive information system, they have completely different role. It provides easy access to internal and external information related to organization goals. Okay, so obviously, what executive level decisions are, they are close to organization goal. They are close to organization vision, mission statements, objectives of organization. So they are not only interested in internal information. Maybe you are going to launch, or you have collected a data about say 10,000 people from all over the India, and you're trying to understand their behavior, their attitude. Okay, so either either you can go through 10,000 customer, maybe a 10,000 customer had 20 questions. Okay, 20 questions to 10,000 people. Maybe you have to go through 20 like columns to make a decision, or you can use methods or data information or processing information like factor analysis, okay, or cluster analysis, perceptual mapping, multivariate analysis, okay, conjoint analysis. Like, don't remember this name, but these are the things through which what you can do, you can cut short the data. Okay, maybe in a cluster group, what you can do, okay, there are 10,000 customers, maybe they have given a similar responses for some of the questions, or that decides their pattern. Okay, like there is a question: do you prefer to use email or writing a letter? Okay, somebody who says I like to write a letter, and there is another kind of people who are saying I like to write a mail. So what do you do? First, you create one group. Okay, maybe somebody who is interested in writing a mail, maybe they are more tech savvy. Okay, or maybe they are new school or something who is interested in writing a mail. Maybe I'm not saying it's compulsory, but maybe they are, you can consider them as a old school people, or maybe they want a human touch to their communication. So there are two different things. Maybe the remaining people, or 2,000 people who are given first option, that they like writing a mail, maybe their responses are also in a similar line, because what you have found about a modern school or the latest people or younger generation, maybe they are into that category. So what you are doing actually, while understanding a data of 10,000 customer into 20,000 questions, you may divide or make a cluster of maybe three or four groups of it. Okay, there are only four groups you make. This can be summarized into one slide. Okay, on one page you have divided people into 2005, 2005, 2005 people, and they have a completely similar responses. You have grouped them, and based on those four groups, you can make a decision. Maybe somebody who is into category one, there are 7,000 people, and in remaining three groups there are only 3,000 people. So obviously your focus will be on those people who are higher in number. You want to serve those customers. You want to fulfill their needs. Okay. One more example to understand what is executive information system, like using conjoint analysis. Conjoint analysis. So what you do in a conjoint analysis, uh, suppose you are launching a mobile phone, okay, or management is planning to launch a mobile phone. Obviously, they have huge number of options to include in their phone features, like what will be camera level, what will be their battery backup, what will be operating system, what will be color of the phone, what will be the cost of the phone. There is the size of the phone, okay, number of cameras they will have. There is n number of features which you can add in your phone, and obviously you cannot add each feature to your phone and still sell it, come to competitive price. Maybe you can include all features, but again the price will increase. So what you will do, you will actually collect the information from the market by circulating some kind of questionnaire, or understand your consumer, what are the features they are giving a preference. Maybe people are okay with 32 megapixel camera because they are not very fond of camera. Or maybe people are saying we don't want a larger space because anyhow everything is just sitting on a cloud. So we don't require any physical memory, or we don't require to store anything in a mobile phone. Maybe that can be a choice. So based on different opinion, what you will do, you will understand the consumer preference. Or maybe you have seen that there are 10 features. Maybe your budget is say 20 to 30 thousand, because we have recognized if I launch phone in 20 to 30,000 bracket, there is 2 crore customers who are available. Or maybe if I launch phone maybe in a 50,000 customers, there are only 10,000 people in my product to 50,000 people or 2 crore people, rather than selling it to only 10,000 people. So my budget is 20 to 30. So if my budget is 20 to 30, these many people have different preferences for these features. Okay. So I will come to know exact what number of features that customer are requiring and looking for, those who are in a bracket of 20 to 30,000 discount. So obviously I got the information. Then it is easy for me to decide what kind of features I want to promote in, or want to provide in my in the upcoming phone. Okay. So this is a level of information. This is a level of kind of information you require to make a decision of launching a new phone, which is again a decision taken by executive level. Okay, looking at profitability, looking at raw material cost, or looking at marketing cost, looking at market demand, based on different different things. What you decide, you actually decide what kind of phone you want. This is how you save your time. This is a time management by taking a faster decision if you have executive information system. Okay. Improve office automation. We have discussed already what is automation and how it is important, how it is important for your business. Okay. Otherwise you will have always human involvement that will consume a lot of time, that will lead to a lot of what we call mistakes. There is scope for a lot of mistakes because there is no automation. Everyone will have a subjective criteria to solve that problem. But if you have set particular steps to solve the problem, everyone will follow that. Okay, there is no human involvement. Less human power is required. Okay, easy for upper level executive to use. Obviously, if you have EIS, it is easy for executive to use because they are not interested into a minor details. What they are interested into a summary of everything. Enhance personal thinking and decision making. Obviously, it will give scope for brainstorming. Okay, whenever board of management or management team, board of director or management team meets, they have better information. Based on that information, they will give individual opinion that will lead to brainstorming and new solutions, new thinking on many objectives, okay, or many options from a different perspective, different opinion, and it will be very easy for going for decision making. Okay, like people, if everyone is aware about the basic information, maybe there are some people who will support particular decision, and maybe there is devil's advocate. So devil's advocate is those who will oppose the first problem. So obviously there will be a better brainstorming, better personal thinking. We will come to know what is advantage of accepting this thing, and we will also come to know what is the disadvantage of accepting particular thing. So that will lead to a comprehensive decision making. Okay. once you are aware about advantages and disadvantages of particular decision, that will ensure you have a better decision making process. Reduce time for finding information. Obviously, see, I'm sitting on my laptop or my computer. Suppose somebody is executive level sitting on a computer. Whatever information they want, they can easily download and they can see through a particular platform. So obviously that will save time. The moment you open your EIS and whatever information you want, maybe at any time of the day, whatever you want to take a decision on particular thing, you can go to system, you can start your system, and just download whatever information you want, or just see whatever information you want. So that's reduce the time, that reduce the time in finding information. You don't have to call your subordinate, you don't have to collect the data from them. Then you will take a decision and ultimately you will communicate with your subordinate. But here directly manager or the executive is directly getting information about the product or the collective information whichever they want. Okay, maybe they want at a state level, or maybe they want at a national level. Okay, maybe they want at a product level, whatever kind of information you want, GIS will provide you that because they are endowed with that capacity. Increased communication capacity and quality. Obviously, since you have EIS, everyone is having a similar information, or everyone is having the kind of information they want. So there is a transparency, there will be clear communication, and the quality of decision will be much better. Okay, there is some components of EIS which is not something to explain. The kind of hardware they require, kind of software they require, user interface, telecommunication. So this is some of the components you require before you implement EIS into your organization. Okay, so they have explained some of the hardware which you require, some of the software you require. This is technical part which we don't require, or maybe even if I explain you, maybe that will take a lot of time. Okay, so these are some of the components. What we have next is model of EIS. So what is model of EIS is how you actually generate information, how you circulate information, and how exactly this diagram will explain you how exactly you disseminate information to the level where it is actually having utility. Okay, this is executive level information, or this is a model which help you to disseminate information. Okay, features of FIS, again something which we have already discussed. Drill down capability, like you have you can apply a multiple filters, you can apply multiple filters at different level. Design with management critical success factor in mind. Personalized analysis, navigation of information, graphical and textual information, okay, status access, trend analysis, exception reporting. So there are different kind of data which you get through EIS, which will help you to make ultimately a decision. Okay. So with this session, we have understood what is EIS, what is the different level of decision